Hi everyone, and welcome to Doc's Thoughts. So I recently wrote a newsletter. It's on medium.com under my name, and I'll share the details of that newsletter with you on this Doc's Thoughts because it's a really important concept. And it was all about the art of medicine. So I detailed a story about when I was an undergrad and I was in a philosophy course, and I got my first F. I never had been someone to get Fs in the past. I was always able to work hard and get good grades, and I did work hard. And so when I wrote this paper and I thought I worked hard on it, and I had a big F plopped in front of me on the desk, I was horrified. So I made an appointment with the professor, showed up the next day to his office. It was a very intimidating experience. He's this old professor in a classic old college building. I was just super scared, and I just said to him, I said, I want to be a doctor, and in every other class I'm in, I'm able to just study hard, memorize the facts, show up to my tests, and I can get a good grade if I do the work. Here I did the work. I said this about the paper. I said I did the work, and I got an F. And I said I can't have an F if I want to get into medical school because it's really hard to get into medical school. So I kind of pulled that woe is me, poor me card, like give me a better grade. And I kind of just thought he would give me a better grade. And what he said to me after that really changed the way that I approach my studies moving forward, and honestly the way I practice medicine. I think it's important for all of us to understand it, just to think about maybe how we might need to approach medicine differently for it to be a better system. He said, Lynn at the time, he said, you want to be a doctor, right? So as a doctor, you have to be creative. You have to think outside of the box. You have to put different things together and think creatively to get the patient to feel their best, to get a diagnosis, right? He said, you can't just go to medical school and memorize facts and expect to be a good healer and to be a good clinician, because doctors are artists, doctors are creatives, doctors need to think outside of the box a little bit. And so for me, it was one of those things that moving forward, as I approached my studies, yes, obviously I had to memorize facts, like that's just part of being going to medical school. But I also never forgot the part of being an artist and looking at things more holistically, really. And so my message for you, whether you're a patient or whether you're a healthcare provider or a healer of any type, is let's start looking at healthcare and wellness with that concept, right? As art, as creativity, as a craft, and not just rote memorization of facts. Because what I see happening if we do that is that instead of just taking every problem and putting us on a pill, we take every problem and we think about it creatively to come up with a solution, not just a Band-Aid. So that's my whole point. So if you're a patient and you're going to your provider, ask those probing questions to get them to utilize those creative skills, because they all have it. It's just been burned out of them by being overworked and being in the system for too long. If you're a healer, use those gifts. And when you approach your patients or your clients, sorry about the dog, think creatively and try to get to that root cause and that solution to give them their best outcome. So you got a little bit of dog barking in the background. Hope you don't mind that. With that being said, I look forward to talking to you guys soon, and thanks for being my audience.